Hello everyone, welcome once again for today's topic, which is will be like a types of journal entries in R2R. So the major type is actually accrued expense journal entries, and we have prepaid expense journal entries. In we also have correction entry and cost allocation entry. These are the one which will be covered in today's topic. But prior to that, we should be knowing about the golden rules of accounting. So we all know that there are three types of account, which we have like a real account, personal account, and nominal account. And this is a golden rules to that. So moving on to the accrued expense account, remember this is an expense which you say that you have incurred it, right? So you already have incurred some of the expense, but you are yet to make the payment. So this is also called a payable expense account. And example of accrued expense will be a salary account or salary expense account, bonus and utility. So one of the example what we are talking about, like suppose in one of the company like company ABC Limited has to make a payment of a salary of $20,000, but which is still not made payment on 31st of March 2024. Since we all follow the accrual concept of accounting, we should be recording the transaction on 31st of March 2024. To record the expenses which company is yet to make the payment will be an salary expense account debit to a salary payable account. Remember, I'm telling you that accrued expense is also a payable account. So we call it a salary expense account debit to salary payable account. And once the actual payment is made, that is suppose considering that on 1st of April the payment has been made, the salary payment has been done. So that time we will do salary payable account debit to cash account. So by this, what happens that your salary payable account gets knocked up. You have one credit over here, one debit which gets knocked up, and you are left out with the final entry, which will be a salary expense account debit to cash account. This is an example of an accrued expense account. Now, second journal entries what we have is on prepaid expense. Remember, the term itself says that pre means you have already paid in advance. You have already paid in advance for the service or the goods which you are yet to receive, and this will be a form of an assets account. Example of prepaid expense is like insurance premium and rent. So some of the example are very common like insurance premium. And so when we talk about the scenario, like suppose a company is making an advance payment of 12,000 for the car insurance which it has purchased, and it is going to cover the risk for entire 1 year. So in that case, when I have make the payment for in the entire 1 year for 12,000, I will record the advance payment of 12,000 on 1st of Jan because I am making a payment. So that will be prepaid insurance account debit to cash account. Since the payment is made to cover the entire whole year risk, so I'm supposed to divide this amount by 12 months, and then I'm going to calculate on pro rata basis every month from the Jan 31st to up to December 31st. I'll pass entry where I will say insurance expense account debit to prepaid insurance. So I will divide 12,000 by 12. I'll be having $1,000 in my hand. So every month we say insurance expense account debit to prepaid insurance account, where again you will see that you are passing a contra entry again the prepaid insurance. And once you start passing this entry for 12 months, you will be left out with the journal entries at the year end, that will be insurance expense account debit to cash account. As I told you, this gets knocked off where we have a debit, one credit, so we'll be having insurance expense account debit to cash account of 12,000. This will be our final entry. And then we have, so the third journal entry is that what we have is correction entry, and which is also known as a rectification entry. So this entry is basically passed to correct any error. Suppose if I have done the posting where I have realized that the cost center or the GL or the WPS element, whatever I have used is wrong, I can pass the correction entry to rectify those errors. In this scenario, when we are talking about, we have booked an entry to an account 12345, which I should not be using it. I should be using 23456 account. So suppose one of the entry that is passed is 12345 account debit to cash account, which is actually a wrong account which I have used it. So I have to pass the correction entry. For that, what I'll do that I will move this particular balance to the correct account, which is 23456 account debit. I will move it, and I will go ahead and pass a contra entry against the wrong account that I have used it prior. So by that you will see that you will be having this particular correction entry where you are moving the balance to the right account. So this is one of the example of correction entry. Basically, this can be done for movement of any balance to the GL account, to any cost center account, and maybe for a depreciation posting as well. And the last entry what we have is a cost allocation entry, where we talk about in allocation of a cost. Basically, what you do that you distribute the cost across a multiple department project and multiple products maybe. So in this scenario, when we talk about a transport cost, transport of any company is suppose is used by a various department like HR, IT, admin, and all other no accounts are using the transport. So once you get the entire cost like a 12,000, once the company will receive this particular cost at the head office, what it does that it will allocate this cost to all the account whichever accounts are utilizing the service. So we have a person from HR team, IT team, they all are also using the transport, right? So what they do that there will be a certain percentage, there could be a fixed percent or there could be a variable percentage, depends on that on the uses. So in this example what we are talking about a fixed percentage, where I say that HR will use the transport of 20%, and then IT is using 40% of the transport cost. So likewise you will do a pro rata calculation, and this is how you are going to allocate the entire cost of 12,000 to the various account whichever is using or utilizing the service. This is one of the example of a cost allocation entry. Thank you.